darts, and the conversations quickly became more about him. Like his father before him, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2011, kept it secret for a time, eventually revealed it to colleagues and then publicly, and continued for the following 9 years to brilliantly host the darts coverage on Sky. A live television, grueling schedule, 10,000 people in the live audience. Recently, he announced he'd be stepping away. Dave Clarke, you're very welcome.
Good evening, Joe. Good evening, boys.
Great to have you with us. Great to have you with us. So, the decision, tell us how you came to it, and was it, I mean, clearly it's been bubbling away at the back of your mind for quite some time, but why now? Why was this the right time?
Well, it's hard to give up the best job in the world, isn't it? You know, watching sport for a living is brilliant, and it's been amazing. 22 years at Sky. I launched Sky Sports News back in '98, and did the boxing for many years as well, and the darts. But I just thought that the lockdown gave me time to think, and because of my Parkinson's, my days of presenting are going to be limited. I had a couple of close shaves. I was standing side of the stage, ready to go in front of 10,000 people at a big venue. And my meds hadn't kicked in. I thought, this could happen more regularly. I didn't want to fail on air, so I wanted to go out with my dignity intact. Very few people in this industry get to call the shots and go out at a time that suits them. And I didn't want to embarrass myself, or I just wanted to go out when I could still do the job, still perform, and now is the perfect time. No crowds at the darts influence me, because I need that to get my adrenaline going and get the buzz. So lockdown and no crowds at the darts, really, we're going to do 9 days in Milton Keynes, which they did brilliantly, but it wasn't the same. And I bow out. My last gig was in front of 7,000 people in Liverpool. Amazing night, great crowds, great reception, and that's how I'd like to remember darts. It'll go on. It won't quite be the same without the crowd, but you know, the crowds will come back eventually.
I would think, do you mean that literally, that the adrenaline would help even just on a practical level? Yeah,
it's amazing. When I walked on stage in front of all those people, the Parkinson's symptoms seemed to disappear. I think it was sheer bloody-mindedness and the adrenaline, and it was incredible. The Parkinson's symptoms just almost vanished. And I think without a crowd, it would be a struggle for me. So another reason was I watched the Muhammad Ali documentary, and he was fighting Larry Holmes in 1980, and he obviously got Parkinson's then, probably didn't know it. And he was taking a hell of a beating. It was a shadow of the man he was before. And I watched that, and I thought, I don't want that to be me. Angelo Dundee's trainer threw the towel in after 10 rounds. And Larry Holmes looked frightened to hit him anymore because he was giving him such a beating. I thought, I don't want that to be me. I don't want someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, now's the time to go. But I had some lovely messages. I had over 5,000 messages from people on Twitter, and incredible stories. One guy was diagnosed when he was 39, and he had messages from people on Twitter, and incredible stories. One guy was diagnosed when he was 39, and he hadn't put up the courage to tell his parents, and he made sure that I was on the TV when doing the darts at Christmas. And he told his parents, he said, look, he's on there doing that. I can carry on. And the specialist, when I was diagnosed, said 2 or 3 years to be presenting live TV. Managed nearly 10, so very proud of that. And I've still got a lot in the locker, still going to keep busy. I've got a big sponsored walk coming up, Lent to Hadrian's Wall, nearly 100 miles in September. I want to prove I can still achieve things and still be a positive role model.
When you had the close shave, how close was it?
Well, I'd have still been able to do it, but it was 6:45. I was going on air at 7 o'clock, and my meds weren't working. And I take this medicine called levodopa, which is a dopamine substitute. It kids your brain to think it's producing dopamine. The bit of my brain that's dying is an area called the substantia nigra, and in there it produces dopamine, which affects movements and speech and everything. So my speech was slurred. I gave the impression I was drunk before I walked on stage. Luckily, they kicked in with 5 minutes to go, but it was frightening, really frightening that I was going to be live on TV in front of 500,000 million people and walking down stage in front of 10,000 people, and it was too close for comfort. I didn't want that to happen. Fail on air would be the worst thing, so now was the time to go.
That's amazing. I didn't realise you were told 2-3 years of presenting, and you did what, 10? And it's a grueling schedule as well. I mean, there's different types of presenting. That's a very demanding schedule, and you know, with the adrenaline the night before comes the low the next morning, even for somebody in the, you know, the peak of their health. So to manage that for 10 years is incredible. Are you ahead of their general timeline for how they expected the disease to progress generally, Dave?
Well, everybody who has Parkinson's has a different path. You know, we all end up in the same place eventually. But I think a number of things have helped me. A positive outlook. I've always had a very positive mindset. I do a lot of exercise, stretching and things, and just sheer determination has got me through. But keeping fit, doing exercise is the key. I do an hour or so every day, stretching and cardio work as well. I think that's helped me. And getting my meds right. So before I was on air, I'd make sure I rested up during the day. I had a really stringent routine. So I stuck to it every time. Rested in the afternoon, took my meds on time, didn't eat when I took my meds because that slows down the effectiveness a bit. And just this routine got me through for all those years. So, you know, I say I'm very proud of what I achieved. 22 years on Sky, 22 years in people's living rooms. It's been a great journey, working with some brilliant people. And I still intend to do a bit of broadcasting. Might do a podcast. I'm writing a book at the moment as well, Stand Up If You Love the Darts, about the inside track, about stories about Sid Riddell, Eric Bristow and the boys from back in the day. So I'm keeping busy. And, you know, I've got to admit, I shed a few tears when I sent and said it was over. But, you know, all good things come to an end. I've had a great time. Don't feel sorry for me, because I've still got a lot of things to look forward to, and still a lot to do.
And were you oscillating back and forth when you made the decision and sent the tweet, or were you in a fairly definite place mentally?
No, I knew it was time. Okay. I knew it was time. I think I always knew that, you know, I'd know when the time was right. And when I had a couple of scares, when the crowds went from darts, it just seemed like the perfect time to just say, I'll go out on a high, go out when the going's good, and not get that tap on the shoulder or whatever, and just go out on my terms, which is a real privilege in this. But you know, so many people in our industry get the elbow, don't, you know, complain about it, whatever. And it's perfect. It was perfect in every way. So, and as I say, I still want to. I've raised over £500,000 for Parkinson's research now, which is, you know, that'll be my legacy, as well as presenting live sport. But a hell of a ride, brilliant fun. No,
a hell of a ride. Most people don't do 22 years at a place like Sky, working at the level you're doing. I mean, that's a brilliant career under any circumstances. I'm not surprised that 39-year-old used you as an example, and a brilliant example at that, of how you can cope and still manage to live a very full life, even in the midst of a serious weight on your shoulders. And it is a serious weight, there's no two ways about that. And you can empathise. You know how difficult it is to tell people and to transform from a normal run-of-the-mill into, to some degree or other, unfortunately, defined a little bit by your disease. That's a tough line to cross. There's no going back for people when they do it.
It's why I kept it a secret for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I didn't tell anybody. And there was one time I was doing a boxing show in Liverpool, and the on-air clock was ticking down, and I was trying to do my tie-up, put my cufflinks on, and I was really struggling. Couldn't do it. And I thought, I can't ask anyone for help. And I was actually hiding in a cupboard. It seems ridiculous now, but hiding in a cupboard, doing my tie-up, trying to get my cufflinks on, and I had an earpiece on, and they were saying, Clarkie, time to come now. Where is he? And it was really stressful, and that affected me for days afterwards. And I thought after that, I've really got to tell people. And very supportive. Little things that my production team at Sky did to help me were amazing. Just things like something so simple. My right hand doesn't work very well, so when I was doing interviews, my hand might shake, and it just distracts from the interview. So they did like a face-mounted mic for me, like a Madonna face-mounted mic. So I go on stage with a mic on my face, and it meant I didn't have to use my hands. The players would hold a microphone, and it was just a little thing, little alteration rather than abandonment. Just little alterations like that helped me along the way, and I'm really proud of what I've achieved.
So I suspect you never regretted going public with it or having it define you in some way, or was that difficult as well?
It was hard, I didn't want people to feel sorry for me.
Or having it define you in some way, or was that difficult as well?
It was hard, I didn't want people to feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to see me as the bloke with Parkinson's. Now it's turned into a good thing because people appreciate what I've done, and being a positive role model for people with Parkinson's. I've shown people it's not the end when you've got Parkinson's. I mean, when I was diagnosed, I was googling bungalows and wheelchairs and all that sort of stuff, and I can still get the stairs easily. I can still walk with a limp. Sometimes when I'm bad, I can't do the buttons on my shirt. I can't write my name, and my speech is slurred, and I feel really flat. But if you've got Parkinson's, get up, get dressed, get out, and the good days, after a bad day, will come a good day. So if you've got Parkinson's, don't give up, keep fighting.
Where does fear come into it, Dave?
Fear?
Yeah.
Well, I live in the moment. I don't think too much about the future, because if I thought about the future for me is not bright, because eventually I won't be able to walk, I won't be able to talk, I won't be able to smile, and that's the inevitability of Parkinson's. It was discovered 200 years ago. The medicine I'm using is over 50 years old. It's the same medicine my dad was on, levodopa. It's good, but we can do better, Harold Wilson was Prime Minister. Man hadn't landed on the moon, was still using the same medication. And it just masks the symptoms. It hides the symptoms. It doesn't cure anything. So without it, I'm a mess. And, the fear is that in the future, I won't be able to walk and talk and be wheelchair bound. And eventually, most people with Parkinson's, end-stage Parkinson's, choke to death because they can't swallow. So it's a horrible ending, but I don't think about that. Whenever I start thinking about that, I change my thought process, eliminate it straight away. Think about sunshine and sunflowers and a positive outlook. You look into the future, it's not bright. So
Okay, because I guess there might be different approaches there. There's the one you're taking, which is definitely working for you. Other people might want to face that reality and maybe speak with a counsellor or write it all down and sit with it for a while, and maybe that works for them, maybe it doesn't. Frankly, I don't know what the hell I would do.
Yeah, it's the best of the worst illness, Parkinson's, if you like. Motor neurones is quick, 2 or 3 years, and it kills you. Wilson's and Huntington's are other terrible neurological illnesses. If you've got a chronic degenerative neurological condition, this is the best one. So that's a positive in many ways.
It's the way to look at it, yeah. So give us a sense then. Hadrian's Wall, and you're going to do the walk. We know from talking to you before you're a massive Bruce fan. I suspect whenever socially distant concerts are a thing again, and you can get to see some Bruce, you'll do that. You're writing the book, and I saw in your statement as well you want to spend more time with your wife and your 2 sons. Time is a luxury, and so you're a real fullness to your life going forward. It's not a glib thing when you say don't feel sorry for me.
No, at the moment I'm sitting in a cottage in Robin Hood's Bay on the Yorkshire coast, watching the sun go down over the North Sea. I'm going to have a pint in a minute. I'm going to enjoy my life. Every day is precious. Every sunrise is a special one. So don't feel sorry for me. I've had a brilliant career. I've seen some amazing things. I was there when Muhammad Ali lit the Olympic flame in '96. I was there when Nelson Mandela walked out wearing the Francois Pienaar shirt in '95. I've seen Taylor get 2 9-darts in a night. Michael Van Gerwen break the world record average. The greatest World Championship final ever between Barney and Taylor in 2007. Amazing things. I've got a lovely family. I've had a great career, and there's still more to come. So I'm very positive about the future, and you haven't heard the end of me yet. No,
I'm sure. Were you this positive before the disease? Has it impacted on your attitude to day-to-day life?
I think I appreciate every day more now.
Right.
I took it a bit for granted at times, and there were times when I definitely put work first, which is easy to do in our industry. There's one year I spent 123 nights in hotel rooms, just travelling around. It sounds very glamorous, but it's actually not. You're away from your family, high pressure. So I do boxing, so I'll be there for a weigh-in on a Friday, prepping all week for the stats in case it just went. I always made sure I had everything to hand. So all my prep, I knew everything about every fighter, everything about every dart player, all the stats. So fail to prepare to fail was my motto. And that took a lot of doing. So I'll be working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Premier League Thursday, weighing for a fight on Friday night, Saturday night boxing, back Sunday, working again Monday. And it just took it out of me. I was doing that with Parkinson's, which it seems ridiculous now, but I didn't want to tell anybody, and I was working my pants off. And I put my family second, so I put my family first now, and just enjoy time with them, and not be as busy, but look back and reflect on the journey I've had, and the journey ahead in many ways.
There's that book, the famous book by the Australian palliative care nurse, and very famously, the number one regret of the dying, particularly men, is spending far too much time working. Yeah. I've enjoyed every moment working. I've not regretted a day of work in my life, but I think Rod Studd, my colleague, had a massive stroke a while ago, and that made me think as well. Life's precious, and it could have killed him, and that ultimate outlook of it as well. I thought, you've got to enjoy every day, and just have fun and think about the people you love and spend time with the people you love. So. Because you sound great, you sound upbeat, you sound in brilliant form. You sound like a man thoroughly enjoying his life. We spoke briefly during lockdown, and I thought you were very low energy that day, or not as well that day. Actually, I don't know if that was the case, or maybe we were all a bit gloomy around then. I
think I'd had a bad day when I spoke to you. Yeah, my speech was a bit slurred. My meds hadn't worked particularly well that day. You have good days and bad days. I think I'd had a bad day when I spoke to you, yeah. My speech was a bit slurred. My meds hadn't worked particularly well that day. You have good days and bad days. Today's a good day. Right. Hopefully tomorrow's a good day as well. And I'm very relaxed now. I haven't got the pressure of live broadcasting, which is great, but it takes its toll on you. No, of course. Big time. Of course. Well, when you've done it for as long as you have done it, I mean, you've nothing left to prove in that arena, so maybe there's a certain lightness now to go off and do something else. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the future's going to hold for me, but I will keep busy, and I will do, I want to stay doing a little bit of broadcasting in some way, shape or form. Yeah. Maybe one show a week, something like that, doing something, or pre-recorded stuff. I haven't really thought about it yet, but, I'm just enjoying the moment, enjoying chilling out for a bit and just regrouping and see what the future brings. Lots of texts in, as there always is any time that you're on. Trish and Claire, for example. Joe, I'm so sorry to hear Dave Clarke is retiring. His determination is inspiring. My late mother had Parkinson's, so I know some of the challenges he faces. I wish him all the best. What a legacy and what a role model for the times we're in. There's lots of messages to that effect, Dave. So listen, we're going to, no point saying otherwise, it is sad, we're going to miss seeing you on the darts all the same, and I guess you'll be watching at home and enjoying it and feeling a bit nostalgic as well. Well, I couldn't watch the match play because it was too emotional for me. Right. My colleague Nigel Pearson stepped in. I let Sky know a month before, so they had time to get it all sorted out, and I waited till the week before to announce it, so I already knew, but it took me time to get my head around it and just... Because it's part of, it's me as well, It's Dave from the. I was out today saying, it's Dave from the darts, I'm no longer Dave from the darts. Maybe I'll always be Dave from the darts, but I'd like to thank the people of Ireland as well, because it's been brilliant over the years. One of the best arenas, the 3 Arena in Dublin, absolutely incredible, and it was the first big arena we did back in the day. I remember being on stage, and the Irish fans were making so much noise. Wayne Mardle's shirt was flapping, and it was the sound wave from the fans that made the shirt move. So amazing memories. I've walked out on stage 6-7 times at the O2 in London. Hello London, brilliant. And just travel around the globe watching sport, amazing. So what could be better than bow out at the top, bow when the going's good. And if you have just newly diagnosed with Parkinson's, hopefully I've shown you've got a bright future ahead of you. Don't give up. You can still do things. You can still. People with Parkinson's do amazing things. There's a guy running an ultra marathon at the moment with Parkinson's.
Right.
Just try not to get too depressed. Try not to. If you have a safer day, make sure the few and far between. Keep busy, keep active, and you should be all right.
Oh, listen, that's good advice. Congratulations on just a phenomenal career, and as Trish and Claire said, you have been inspiring in so many ways, and I suspect, listen, we'll be talking to you on the show. Anytime the darts is on, we'll give you a ring and check in for sure. But Dave Clarke, congrats on the career. We wanted to mark it when we saw you tweeted, given that we've talked to you over the last couple of years. So we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks for your support as well. Brilliant shows as always. Joe, you're a star, man, and hopefully speak to you again.